Okay, it is 6:01 p.m. and I would like to call the March 25th, 2025 meeting of the St. Louis Youth Advisory Council to order. The next item on our agenda is roll call, and I will hand that over to Charlotte.
All right, thank you very much, Annika. When I call your name, just say here. Gori. Gori. Precious.
Here.
Legacy.
Here.
Vienna. Vienna. Neha. Neha. Isabel. Isabel. Tiernan. Tiernan. Evita. Evita. Michaela. Michaela. Preston. Preston.
Hello?
All right, Preston, you're here, right? Margaret. Anne Marie.
Here.
Jordan.
Here.
Annika.
Present.
And Akil.
Present.
Roll has been called. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Did I get Hannah?
I don't think so.
Hannah?
I am here.
Okay. And we have a quorum, Madam Chair.
Hannah's not a member. Is she making a presentation?
Is she
So,
not?
yeah, exactly. I'm doing a presentation real quick.
Oh, so there are only 7 of us here, Madam Chair.
I think you have 8, actually, Madam Chair.
Oh, yes, Anne Marie just came on. I just saw her.
Okay. Let me see if I have. So I have Precious, Legacy, Preston, Anne Marie, Jordan, Annika, and Akil, right?
Correct, to my knowledge.
Yes.
And you said a quorum is 8, correct, Jen?
Yeah, now it looks like maybe somebody went away.
Yeah, because it's only 7.
Yeah, I only see 7 now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can
Madam
we
Chair,
just-
can I interrupt? Sorry to interrupt. My name is Jen Frank. I'm 10 for the County Counselor's Office. So with 7 people, you can certainly go ahead and have discussion. It's not an actual meeting, but you could have discussion. I know you have a presentation, speaker this evening, so you can certainly do that, but you won't be able to take any votes such as approving your minutes or even on a motion to adjourn. You would just have to, say that you were finished discussing at the end of the meeting, unless you have somebody else join you.
Okay. That works fine with me. So then I will move the approval of the meeting minutes to later if we get more people. And then with that, I will hand it over to Ms. Shard to discuss the Children's Service Fund.
Everybody, thanks for having me. I've met a few of you before, but my name's Hannah Sherrard. I'm a program officer with the St. Louis County Children's Service Fund. Just wanted to pop in and say hello and a couple of things today, so you all knew a little bit who we were. The County Children's Service Fund is a sales tax fund that provides money for nonprofits that provide services to youth and families, mostly in the areas of mental health and behavioral health. So we fund about 100 nonprofits right now that offer services like school-based counseling or emergency shelter, psychiatry, prevention services, substance use treatment, all kinds of things. The fund brings in, again, it's a 1/4 cent sales tax. So anytime you're buying something in the county, you're contributing to that fund. And it brings in about $50 million a year. That again goes out to agencies across the county to provide services to youth up through their 19th year until their 20th birthday, and their families when that is appropriate. So why I'm here today is because the Children's Service Fund pays the stipends for the Youth Advisory Council members. And so like a logistical piece of information to you all is that if you are new to the council, I will need to collect a W-9 from you in order to pay you that stipend. So I will follow up this week with an email to all of you with that form and instructions for how to fill it out so that we can have you in the county system to be paid at the end of your term if you've met the attendance requirements. Again, if you were on the council last year, then we already have that form for you. We don't need that again. Okay, what else did I want to make sure you knew? Oh, from time to time, our board, so we're governed by a board, and our board really likes to hear from young people about your experiences in this group, as well as your thoughts on kind of the issues that are affecting youth in the county right now, especially youth mental health. So I know last year, a few of your members came to a board meeting and were able to give a short presentation to them. They were really appreciative, asked a lot of questions. And so we'll make sure to make that opportunity happen again this year in case anybody is interested in that. Again, just an opportunity to share the work that you're doing in this space with even more people on a wider audience. So I think that's all that I really had to share. Again, I'll send you all an email, but I wanted to make sure you saw my face and my name so you weren't surprised to see me pop up in your email. So keep an eye out for that with that W-9 form, and I'll include a link to our website in case you want to learn any more about the Children's Service Fund. Any questions for me? Cool. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Hannah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, I think you may have 8 members now.
Yes, I
Vienna?
think Vienna, I believe Vienna joined the meeting.
It appears so.
Okay,
Hi, yes, I'm here now. I was a little late. I'm sorry about that.
no problem at all. Thank you so much for showing up. So now that quorum has been established, I'll circle on back and I will motion to approve the meeting minutes for February 25th, 2025. Do I have a second?
Second.
Who was
Okay,
that said
all-
second?
Huh?
Who was that said second?
I think multiple people said it, but you can just put down a keel.
Okay.
Okay, well, all those in favor of approving last month's meeting minutes say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Okay, the February 25, 2025 meeting minutes have been approved.
Madam Chair, is Ms. Gassel from the council office the person who's supposed to speak with you about the council? Because she's in the meeting, but as an attendee, not as a panelist. And she's in it. I don't know if that's. She's the one who's going to be doing the next, speaking on the next agenda item.
That's definitely what the agenda says, Jen.
I'm so sorry. I think I just froze for a second. What did you say?
I noticed that there is, who were you expecting to from the council office?
I'm expecting Miss Gassel. She has told me she's probably going to come around 6:20.
I'm sorry. She's in the meeting as an attendee, so I think she's going to need to be elevated to a panelist.
Promoting her now.
There you go.
Okay. Thank you.
Hel-
So I'll give a brief introduction of Mrs. Gassel and then I will hand it over to her. Mrs. Gassel is an administrative assistant for County Councilman Mark Carter, and I invited her here to speak with us and give us a brief presentation on her role as an administrative assistant and also the role of the county council in serving the local community, the community that we're helping to advise through giving advice to the county council. I also wanted her to help us more understand the body and understand like the work they're doing and what they're doing to help us get a deeper understanding of local government and what they're doing. So I'll give Mrs. Gassel about 10 minutes to just speak and talk about her role and her job. And then for the next 10 minutes, I'll open it up to everybody so you guys can ask any questions you have about local government or anything regarding her presentation. So thank you so much for being with us tonight, Mrs. Gassel, and I will hand it on over to you.
Well, thank you for inviting me, and I appreciate the opportunity to talk to the Youth Advisory Council. So as Annika said, I am the administrative assistant to County Councilman Mark Harder, who has the 7th district, which basically runs from close to 141 all the way to the western edge of the county. I think I'll start all of this by saying that when COVID hit, there are a lot of people who learned for the very first time that there even was a county government. They'd never heard of it, but they suddenly discovered that this was an entity that could have tremendous impact on their lives. It could restrict their ability to go out and to go to stores and parks and things like that. And there's a lot of constitutional questions about what happened back then, but we'll leave that for another discussion. We tend to think hierarchically in general, and so people think I'm going to go to the top whenever they have an issue that they need addressed with their government. And so a lot of times we get calls at county government that have really no connection to county government. So one of the things that the county council assistants do is try and help people understand where those areas of control are. We really should be thinking of government as kind of these islands of control. So our US Constitution lays out the areas of control for the federal government. The states obviously have their own areas of control. The county has theirs, and then cities have theirs. Sometimes there's overlap, but you really need to end up finding the right place to take your issue to. And that's where, when we get phone calls, we're trying to help people answer that question. Where is the right place to take my complaint to? So everything that the county has jurisdiction over is covered in its charter. This is the document that was given to the county when they were established as a government entity, and it talks about the areas that they have control over and what they have to do in order to exercise that control. Any changes to the charter have to be approved by the people because you need their permission to oversee those issues and to spend their tax dollars to perform those duties. So even within the county, there are rules that apply to the whole county and others that just apply to the unincorporated county. So things like trash, inspections, building codes, those apply to the unincorporated portions of the county. However, when we're looking at things like health issues and regulations, they apply countywide because health issues don't recognize the artificial geographic boundaries of cities. Beyond that, beyond what the county controls, then you get down to the city or the municipal level, and they have their own areas of control. When we look at things like, for example, roads and talking about these areas of control, the major highways are the Department of MoDOT's, Department of Transportation from the state, they're their responsibility. So Highway 40, 64, 70, 170, and in fact, Manchester Road is also controlled by MoDOT. And just interesting fact about that, if you think about Manchester Road, it runs all the way from the city out beyond the farthest extension of the county. It is the only road out of the county that does not have any bridges on it. So it is a significant emergency escape route for the county, which is one of the reasons that MoDOT is in charge of the maintenance for that road. When you look at other arterial roads and connector roads like Clarkson or Lindbergh or Page Avenue, those are county roads and the county is responsible for maintaining them. So when people will call and say, well, there's a problem with my road, it's got terrible potholes, we have to go through our maps and figure out, well, which road is it and who actually has control. The biggest function of the council is to appropriate money to cover the functions that are listed in the charter that the county must do. They accomplish this mission by passing a budget. And this way you can see the direct connection between the taxpayers and how their money is being spent. It's controlled by the people that they elect into public office. I know Annika mentioned, were there things that the county does that specifically relate to children? And actually your previous speaker, Hannah, mentioned one of them, which is the Children's Services Fund. And there's a lot of separate programs that the county is responsible when it comes to children. We're not responsible for education, anything involved with education, primarily because there's already a separate representative system known as the school boards, who is responsible for overseeing that. And they work within a lot of the state regulations on education. But if you go through the county's website and you do a search, you can find there's numerous programs that are aimed at children. So there's the Youth Pre-Apprenticeship Program, the Project E Youth Apprenticeship Program, Youth Barriers Eligibility Policy, Family Court Diversion Programs. There's even a summer food service for kids who need help with meals when they're not in school during the summertime. And then there's resiliency in communities after stress and trauma, called the RECAST system. But if you just look, use the search function in the county government, I'm sure you can find all kinds of programs that the county does. They also operate the Center for Youth on the Rise, which was started in 2012, and it gives opportunities for young people, especially in North County, to do life skills workshop, counseling, educational support, employment preparation, that sort of thing. One of the other things that we have oversight for on kids is the Children's Services Fund, which provides mental and behavioral health services. We have an outstanding youth leadership program that brings in students who are nominated by their teachers to come in and attend a day-long series of meetings with various people with county government and then be recognized for their various leadership roles in their schools and communities. When it comes to kids, youth who are your age and above are readily impacted by the same laws and regulations that adults are. In fact, any of you who are 18 or older are considered an adult in the eyes of the law for most issues. You're impacted the same way, and for the most part, that adults are, and you have the same responsibilities. So that means you can learn all about what you're required to do by the county. So for instance, if you own your own car, you have to register that vehicle, and then you have to pay the personal property tax on it. And if you're lucky enough to own a home or a condominium, you have to do things like apply for an occupancy permit, get an inspection, pay real estate taxes. Let's see. There's also, you can look in the county's website and see what the court systems do. They're specifically aimed at helping kids who have interactions with our court system. There's a lot of different ways that we deal with those that is different from how we deal with adults that are going through our justice system. So as council staff, we end up talking to people and try and find out where the right place they need to go to get the information they need to be in compliance with county laws. And we are also learning all the time on the council. We're kind of on the job training. For instance, this past week, I had to look up ordinances that related to keeping chickens. So I got to learn all about that. And we end up forming relationships with subject matter experts in the different departments. So that's kind of a little bit about the life of a county council administrative assistant, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you so much. I saw that Legacy had a question. If you want to turn on your mic and ask, you can do that.
I
Hi.
just wanted to know where I can find a list of all of those services that you mentioned.
I think really the easiest way to do it is to go onto the county's website and in the search bar, just type in youth, and it will come up with a number of links to the different programs that are there because they're all housed in slightly different departments. So there's no one specific place for youth, but the search is actually pretty effective in finding all of the different programs that impact youth.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ms. Castle. Okay, so I also have a question for you. So what made you interested in government, and how did you start working in government? Is this the first position you've had in it, or did you start somewhere else and work your way up?
In terms of specifically working with government, I actually started out my career working for a trade association in Chicago, and we interacted a lot with the EPA. And so I first learned about things like the Federal Register, where they put out notices of proposed regulations that EPA was doing, and we would respond to that as an industry. But beyond that, I raised a family and did some other things, worked for Junior Achievement for a little while. And then Councilman Harder is a person that I met through sort of some general interest in politics. And his assistant, who was Chris Howard, went on to become the budget policy director for the council. So that assistant's position became open, and Mark asked me if I'd like to do it. And so 5 years ago, I joined him, and I've been learning ever since.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I really appreciate that answer.
You're welcome. It is kind of weird. Like I said, during COVID, we had so many people call and said, I never even heard of county government. What do you guys do? So it's not unusual for people to have no idea that there's a county government and what the different levels of influence that it has are.
I'll just read this question out. I just saw it in the chat. It was, what was the name of the program to spend the day? The one where the teachers recommend the students?
So at least as far as I know, it's called the Outstanding Youth Leadership Program, and those students are nominated by their teachers. So you can probably ask your history or civics teacher at school, and they can at least let you know who, it's usually within that department, is making the recommendation, because it tends to be kids who are interested in government.
So that was the Outstanding Youth Leadership Program. To repeat that to everyone.
It's called the Outstanding Student Leadership Program.
Studentship. Okay, thank
It
you.
happens to be housed under my department.
Do we have
I
any
have
other
a-
questions?
Yeah, I have a question. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, you're going good.
Yeah, I know that you mentioned earlier, Ms. Cassell, about the a lot of people in St. Louis County did not know about county government till COVID. What was you all's push to get the county government the exposure that it needed in the community itself?
A lot of that all relates to, as I said, different regulations apply differently. When it came to health regulations, those apply across the entire county. So different cities can't have different health regulations because disease tends to not recognize physical barriers. So when we have under the health department things like vector control, which is controlling bugs and mosquitoes, rodents, things like that, that would fall under health. But then all of the health requirements for distancing and wearing a mask and that sort of thing to try and stop the spread of COVID, that was the first time people had even understood that the health department impacted all of them, because a lot of these other functions of the health department happen in the background. We don't have a county hospital, so we don't offer regular health services. We do have some county clinics, but we don't have the kind of extensive personal health programs that we used to have probably 30 years ago. I think we got rid of the county hospital sometime in the 1990s. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Have you all had presentations by the various department directors or staff?
We have not, but I was hoping to do that in the future. Do you have any recommendations for good people to ask about that?
Well, start with the department director and just figure out where the interest lies within the Youth Advisory Council right now. What departments, what programs are kind of the most interest to them, and ask the department directors if they would send either themselves or send a representative from the department to talk.
Will do. I'll discuss that with them after we finish the discussion and answer. Does anyone else have any other questions? Well, I'll ask my questions. So, how would you recommend that students get involved in like local county government?
Well, we have an internship program, and most of the county council people will uh, offer an internship program. Obviously, we understand you're in school during 9 or 10 months out of the year, so it's usually a summer type of program, but it's a good way to come and see what happens in county government. You can come see the council meetings, look at their agendas, look at the bills and things that come down, and really kind of get your feet wet to understand the behind the scenes of government. There's a lot of things that the council does that are just kind of rote, where they approve things because we have to recognize change of names and some mundane things, but there's always interesting stuff happening in county government. So I would say look up on the council on website. There's a place where you can plug in your address and see which council district you're in, and then contact that council person and see if they're interested in having an intern.
Okay. Thank you. I actually interned with Mrs. Gassel and Mark Harder last summer, and I would highly recommend it. I learned so much about it, and it's really deepened my relationship and my understanding of county government. So I would highly recommend doing that if you guys don't have something else this summer. Another question. Oh, did I hear someone else? No. Okay, another question for you. How would you recommend, just personally or like in general, to get the word out about county government and to like help people learn about county government? Like, what's a snippet we could tell people about that?
Again, I'm gonna refer back to the homepage, because the most up-to-date topics that county government is covering are typically there on the homepage. In fact, if you look on the front page, on the very first line, there's a series of icons. Those are the most popularly searched things. So you'll see, first of all, the most popularly searched stuff typically relates to taxes. So people are looking up their real estate taxes, their personal property taxes, or the senior tax credit program. And you can click on those links and look at those things. And then below that is kind of our topical index. So right now, my boss and the county executive, Sam Page, worked to stand up a program to encourage federal workers who are looking for a new position to use their interest in public service to come and work for the county. We have 800 open positions countywide in pretty much all of the departments. And so we want to get those workers who still want to do, work in government, who have some experience with that, which is really helpful, to come and look in the county and see what we have. You also can do that. You can click on that same link that's on the front page and just kind of see what jobs the county is offering. They list the titles and the job descriptions, and you can click into them and you can see the salaries. So you'd see how much money you would make working in government. And maybe you'll see something in there. You're like, I didn't even know we did that. And that might be a future career for one of you.
Okay, thank you so much. I will definitely be doing that after this. Also, I've also heard that there were opportunities to like email people and shadow people for jobs, both in like the wider county departments. If anyone isn't interested in an internship, but they want to kind of figure out what they do or see a day-to-day life, you can always reach out or email like a department leader or a person and like kind of just shadow them for a day, see what they do. If that also interests anyone. Opening the floor up again to any more questions.
Well, I wish you all the best of luck. Congratulations on being on the Youth Advisory Council. I did read through your midterm report, and it's very good. And I hope you spend some time looking further into what kind of programs and things can be done to address those issues that you have raised. I think they're very good.
Okay. Well, since no one has any further questions, thank you so much. I have enjoyed having you come on here, and I learn new stuff from you all the time. So thank you so much.
All right, take care.
Okay. Now we're moving on to the next section of our agenda, which is I'm updating you guys on some stuff. So I've talked about having a hybrid meeting in the past, and we are still working on that, seeing where that could go. And then updating on the social media, we have emailed and reached out to the social media people for the county regarding doing some social media partnerships with them or doing a takeover or different things. And I am waiting to hear back from them. If I do, I hopefully will get them to come to one of our meetings and talk with us so we can see where we can get going on that. And then for the town hall, I mentioned that last time that we were going to do a town hall, and I gave you guys some different dates, and I presented those dates to the chairwoman of the county council, and none of the dates worked for her. So we're looking at a time later in April that is not on a Tuesday. She decided she had previously discussed doing a Tuesday, but she decided, or not her, well, someone had discussed doing a Tuesday, but she had decided she was more interested in doing it maybe on another day. So when she gets those dates back to me, I will send them all out to you. So make sure you guys are checking your email for that. We're really trying to push this forward so we can get our presentation to the bigger audience and the county council. And then I also want to say, if anyone ever has any speakers or people they are interested in inviting, I would love for you to email them, email me, or email Charlene or Kathy, and we will see if they can come out and talk, because we are always interested in learning more about like government and what we can do. So if anyone has any ideas for speakers, they can just reach out to me or reach out to them. And then going back to what Mrs. Gassel wanted to say, she said that it'd be a good idea to bring on some more speakers, so some different department directors. So I'm going to open up the floor for discussion for the next few minutes to see what people in the county you guys are interested in hearing from, if anyone has any ideas. I'll open the floor up to you guys now.
I have an idea.
Yeah.
I was thinking like maybe for like future purposes, since I know we're working on like our second proposal, like people who are in the field of like our proposals that we're working on would be great. Um, I know that, for example, I would say like I think it was last month when we chose like our what was it, like our whatever paper, what is it called? I'm sorry. We chose our project that we wanted to work on specifically. And I think it'll be better for like next time, or maybe we could like implement where we can have people from those fields to help us like make that decision better, and also like could give us advice when we are creating these proposals. So we can not only have an effective proposal, but also have more insight versus just getting information from the internet.
That's a fantastic idea. I know I've had other teams reach out to other people in the community, but what I can do, and maybe Mrs. Hughes and Mrs. Hinton can help me out with this, I will look at all of your guys' different groups tonight, and I will look through the county representatives for the different groups, and I will send you guys the emails for the different county representatives that correlate with your group. So like mental health, or I'd send you maybe Mrs. Sherrard's email for the Children's Service Fund, or various things. So if you guys want to receive that information, then you can go contact them about that to help get some more information. In the future, we will definitely make sure to get those resources out so you guys can contact known professionals in the field, because we're always working to develop those relationships between ourselves and the department leaders. I will say, as Mrs. Gassel said previously, the county council website is a wealth of information. So be looking on there to see what professionals are in the field you're relating to, and then I will send you guys out an email, and I will work with our leaders on this regarding who in the county council, sorry, in the county departments relates to you guys. So I will try to get that email out to you by April 1st, since that was the other thing. Our second presentation is due by April 15th. So if you've already done it all, already have all the information done, that's totally fine. I'll still send you guys out that email, and then next time we will absolutely include links for that. So thank you so much. Did anyone else have any ideas about people they're interested in hearing speak, both in the county and even outside the county? By that I mean outside county government employees, like individuals in the county. Okay. I don't see anyone else right now. To assign you guys a little bit of work, if everyone can take just a few minutes between this meeting and the meeting that we will schedule at the end of. Oh, thank you. I just saw that Legacy put the youth programs link in the chat for the St. Louis County. So if anyone wants to go look at that, save that, would highly recommend that. Sorry, for the next time, I just request that everybody take a few minutes to read over the county council website, peruse anything that interests you, and if you see someone interesting, if you see an interesting department, send me or Mrs. Hughes an email, and we can try to see if we can get a speaker. We're always open to your guys' emails and your communication. And I believe both of our emails are on the report document, so you can get them from there. And I think we've also sent out various emails to you. So 2 locations that you guys can get our email if you are interested in contacting us about a department leader. Okay, I don't think we had anything else on our agenda related to updates. So I will move on to scheduling our next meeting and adjournment. So we usually do the last Tuesday of the month. So I'll give everybody a second to check their calendars. For our proposed time would be Tuesday, April 29th at 6 p.m. I'll give everybody a minute to make sure that date works with them. So I'll come back at 6:41, and then we can motion to approve that. I just saw your chat. Do you think we could possibly go visit the Youth on the Rise program? So I'm not currently familiar with this program, but do you know anything about it, Mrs. Hughes?
Youth on the Rise is actually in my division.
Oh, would
So,
you mind speaking a little bit about that to us so we can get some information on it?
Youth on the Rise is a program where community members from all of St. Louis County can come in and like drop in after school if they need help with homework or if they just need a safe place to be, place for growing socially. They play games, They are able to receive case management services. So if counseling is needed, any of the things that you can think that a young person may need, we are able to provide in-house or refer out to a lot of our community partners who work with us. They also have a component where they go into some of the county middle and high schools and provide life skill groups. The HiSET program is currently being held there. So those who have dropped out of high school and want to get their high school diploma can go and get prep there for that, the testing. It's just it's a holistic approach to youth and young adult well-being. So it's really on a case by cases as to what you get, what you need, we can provide it, or as I stated, we will refer out. And we're also over the outstanding student leadership program as well. So a letter will be going out within the next 30 days to county high schools, public, private, and other for nominations. High school seniors, interested in this space, a day of leadership, fun, food, and awards. So that's high level, what the county youth program does specifically in this division. But of course, there are other components to youth programming and services in other divisions as well.
Thank you so much. Maybe we
Mhm.
should interview you sometime. You seem to know a lot.
Well, I know a little something.
Just a further question on youth on the rise. You said something about playing games. Is there an option for volunteers to come in and play games with students who come in or youth?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
So maybe we can work on a day where, do you think it'd be possible to work on a day where the Youth Advisory Council could potentially go in and like volunteer as part of that?
We can discuss that, definitely. We can discuss that.
Okay, perfect. Then, so we will discuss that and I will send a follow-up. Thank you for the great idea.
You're
Legacy.
welcome.
Okay. Now that it's been a little bit, I'll move back to the scheduling of our next meeting. Also, if you ever have any comments, I cannot stress this enough. Please jump right on in. That was a fantastic idea. So always looking for ways to improve and at any time. So I will make a motion to hold our next meeting on Tuesday, April 29th at 6 p.m. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, second by Precious. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposition? Okay, then our next meeting will be held on Tuesday, April 29th at 6 p.m. And then I will open it up for any final comments before I motion to adjourn for the evening. Does anyone have any comments regarding anything in the meeting? Okay, I don't see anything. So then, I motion to adjourn the March 25th, 2025 meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Legacy. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Okay, the meeting has been adjourned. I will see you all next month, and don't forget to turn in those presentations by April 15th. Thank you, guys.
Good night, everyone.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye, everyone.